Hello dear teachers, welcome back to yet another episode of The Better Teacher, brought to you by TeacherTribe.world. And of course, you know our guest. We have had a lot of conversations with him already. He has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to education, and he has been a teacher himself. So let's hear from him on the topic for the day. Sir, today's topic: is teaching restricted to curriculum and textbooks alone? The context is learning isn't restricted. So is teaching restricted to curriculum and?
Well, it's a very interesting but very powerful question. Unfortunately, I must say that today even learning is restricted to textbook and a curriculum. And this is the gift of the Western mind in the industrial model. When we went to mass production of knowledge through the schooling system, we wanted structured knowledge to be provided to the, an assembly of learners in the classroom. And therefore, the objective was to prepare children, learners who have a normal or a structured framework of mind. Therefore, we prescribed a curriculum and a kind of a textbook which basically encompassed certain limited streams of knowledge, both in the curriculum and subsequently the nuances of that translated into a textual material. If you really look at the etymology of the word curriculum, from the Greek, you will find that the word curricule was used even in a horse racing for the ability of a horse to complete its course of running. Similarly, in the context, the ability of a learner to complete a course of learning could be contextualized to the word curriculum. But in reality, when you look at, the curriculum and textual materials were needed for a certified model of education, where we wanted the children to compete with each other, to pursue given framework of knowledge and to position them in the cohort. But I think the real learning is not restricted either to the curriculum or to the textual materials, because learning is recently, when you talk about, is a neural activity, and therefore you cannot control the way the human brain thinks, and therefore you cannot control the way the learning happens around. Therefore, curriculum and textual materials are facilitators for certain framework of knowledge, which is essentially a prescription of social environment. And I think that we have to live with curriculum and textual materials. But remember one thing, curriculum and textual materials are like the runways for an aircraft to take off, and the flight of learning should take the learners to reach to their dreams of knowledge, to access knowledge in the complete universe in which it exists, rather than to imprison them in the framework of the curriculum and textbooks.
So just a comment on your examples, from milk and kitchen to runway and aircrafts. Your examples are really, really amazing. It just, I think, simplifies the entire concept and makes it very easy for all of us to understand. I think that's amazing.
That's what a classroom should be.
That's also a learning. I mean, learning to know how to simplify these things is absolutely amazing. So along the same lines of what you said just now for the first question, have we as an education system given more importance to teaching over learning in the recent past?
Certainly, yes. The last couple of centuries, more so, last couple of decades, we have entered into competitive knowledge structuring, competitive knowledge accessing, and thereby, limiting the competency of a learner in a given format, right? And therefore, typically, a learner learns what he doesn't want to, and therefore he gets defeated because he doesn't have an aptitude or that, or he is labeled because he doesn't have the aptitude to learn or perform in some way. And I think the teaching has sometimes killed the fancy for learning, the spirit of learning, as well as has demotivated that. But I don't blame that. What has to be the teaching? The teaching has got to be an input for facilitating learning. Teaching is nothing but a process by which the teacher provides ingredients of knowledge on which the learner builds his own knowledge, what we call the constructivist approach to learning. So the teacher facilitates constructive, connective frameworks for knowledge formulation, and the national policy talks about the objective of any learning is to create new knowledge and not to celebrate the old knowledge. I think if teaching could facilitate that, we have done the job.
That is so beautifully explained, sir. I think it's so true that textbooks and curriculum and teaching actually helps with the basics of learning for all of us. And it does not stop there, it has to keep going, and it's our responsibility to do that. So one last question on this topic. What do the brain sciences talk about teaching?
Well, that's a very important question, because last 1 or 2 decades I have been very closely watching the researches that have been happening in the field of brains. So what happens is, you have got neurocognitive scientists, neural scientists. Lord Candle was given a Nobel Prize in the year 2000, where he said learning is all about a neural network, that every piece of learning is a neural connectivity that is established. If that be accepted, that shows every child is capable of learning. And that shows that every teacher has got to be a network engineer, where they facilitate the process in which learning networking happens in the brain. And that could be done through simple stories, simple anecdotes, simple songs. In other words, the tools and methods you employ for learning to happen are plenty, and not a single mode of delivery in the classroom. And the neural network that is formed in the brain is very unique to every learner. And it's said that the same concept can be taught by a human brain by approximately by 1 followed by 10.2 million kilometers of zeros. That's the way the human brain can think about the same thing. That being so, I think neural learning is very important. It's time that my teachers start moving, schools start moving from the psychological framework on which we brought the pedagogical theories to the neurological base on which the learning takes place.
Thank you so much, sir. I think your insight has really helped all of us understand the topic better here today. Dear teachers, if you have any other questions on these topics that you want us to address, please write to us, and we will of course try to address it in our upcoming episodes. And don't forget, you are the neural network engineers. Sir said so. All of you are the neural network engineers. You are the ones who are providing and helping with the foundation of learning for all the students out there. So please understand how important your contribution is, and keep coming back to this series of The Better Teacher, and we will see you in the next one. You take care.